Just a few technical problems and then we'll start the meeting. Thank you. Welcome elected members, staff, guests and members of the public to the ordinary council meeting of the 29th of October 2025. I declare this meeting opened at 17:35. The City of Busselton acknowledges the Wardani and Bibliman people as the traditional custodians of this region and pays our respect to their elders past and present. This meeting is being audio recorded for minute-taking purposes and will soon be live streamed once it's working. The first item is 1.1. Pursuant with Schedule 2.3 of the Local Government Act 1995, the Council is required to elect a deputy member at the first meeting of the Council following an ordinary election. In accordance with Clause 8 of Schedule 2.3 of the Act, the election is to be conducted by the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with the procedure prescribed. The successful candidate will be declared elected to the position of Deputy Mayor for a 2-year term expiring in 2027, the ordinary election, and will be required to read and sign a declaration in the prescribed form. I will now hand over to the CEO, who will conduct the election. Thank you, Mr. CEO.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The election of the City of Busselton Deputy Mayor will be conducted in accordance with Clauses 8 and 9 of Schedule 2.3 of the Local Government Act of 1995. In accordance with the schedule, nominations for the office of Deputy Mayor are to be provided to myself in writing, either before the meeting or during the meeting. At this time, I've received one nomination from Councillor Kate Cox. I am now calling for further nominations.
Mr. CEO, I'd like to nominate current Deputy Mayor, or Councillor Anne Ryan, to continue on, if that's okay. And if I need to give you that in writing, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor? Councillor Ryan, do you formally accept the nomination?
I do, thank you.
Councillors, are there any other nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor? There being no further nominations, I now declare nominations are closed, and the candidates for this election are Councillor Kate Cox and Councillor Anne Ryan. Each nominee is now invited to speak to their nomination for 5 minutes. The order of speaking will be in accordance with the order in which the nominations were received. I now invite Councillor Kate Cox to speak, and can I ask that the timer now be set for 5 minutes?
Thank you, Mr CEO. Mr Mayor, firstly I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our newly elected members, Councillor Dykstra, Councillor Adams and Councillor Mueller. Attending your first council meeting is a big milestone. I would also like to congratulate our re-elected members, Councillor Love and Councillor Ryan. Not sure how many council meetings this will be for Councillor Ryan, or if you're counting, but I'm assuming it would be quite a significant number. Thank you everyone for giving me the opportunity to outline my reasons for nominating for the position of Deputy Mayor. During my 6 years on council, I have been privy to many conversations held in this chamber and in the community that have pondered the question of what makes a well-functioning, cohesive and effective council. Over time, what I have concluded from listening to many differing points of view is that effective leadership is not about a title, it is not about politics, and it should never be about personality. The key to a well-functioning council, in my humble opinion, is actually quite simple. It's about trust. Trust built through respect, actively listening, good communication, and above all else, a shared desire to serve our community. Because leadership is service to our community. When we build trust, debate naturally becomes more robust. People find their voices, differences become strengths, and decisions are made with confidence and purpose. If I'm successfully elected as the Deputy Mayor, my main focus will be on building and rebuilding relationships and strengthening trust. Trust within this chamber between each and every one of us. Trust between the city officers who work tirelessly to support us and elected members, and trust between the council, the city and the community. Because when we are all pulled together with a common objective, the community wins with optimal outcomes. During my remaining 2 years on council, I will be reminding you to think about why we are all here. We all need to ask ourselves regularly the question, why are we sitting in this chamber with the title of councillor? Because the community have seen something in us that has resonated with them. They have elected us to lead with integrity, make good, solid, future-facing decisions, and do this with genuine respect for one another. But let me be very clear. A well-functioning council does not mean that we should all have to think the same way or vote the same way. But it does mean that we should listen with careful consideration to every single voice in this chamber, because every single one of us in this room has something of value to contribute. It also means that sometimes we have to compromise in order to move forward with a shared sense of responsibility. The way that we behave in this chamber affects not only the administration, but ultimately and most importantly, the community. It is imperative that we set a positive tone that will underpin the overall culture of the organisation. In my opinion, the role of Deputy Mayor is not about a title or hierarchy, it's simply about teamwork. It's leading by example. It is providing support and encouragement to fellow elected members and most importantly, the Mayor. It is remaining calm, composed and professional when challenges arrive. My approach to the role of an elected member has always been one of hard work, collaboration and respect, and I am confident that many current and previous councillors, CEOs and staff members would attest to that. It has been a great privilege to serve this community as an elected member for the past 6 years, and it would be an even greater honour to serve everyone present here tonight and the wider community in the position of Deputy Mayor. I would be extremely grateful, councillors, for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. I now invite Councillor Ryan to speak for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr CEO, and thank you, Councillor Cox. Councillors, after being elected by my peers in 2023, I have served as a deputy and believe I have excelled in the role. Why would you want to vote for me again as your deputy? The role of the Deputy Mayor under the Act is to perform the functions of the Mayor when authorised to do so. I believe I have done this in spades over that time and gone above and beyond. We are a $1 billion organisation and growing exponentially, as you've all heard today. The most important issue, and we discussed them today as well, that the community are focused on are sport and recreation, the number one issue. During the 2023 election, it became evident that the community, not just Dunsborough, were extremely miffed at not having a 50-metre pool, and with the growth of our city is experiencing. We were asked why was it not yet on the drawing board, along with other sporting facilities. Councillor McNish and I drove this, the number one item on the wish list for a district sports and leisure centre. Council resolved to commence a reserve allocating 1% in June 2024 and now 2%. I moved an amendment to this to ensure that any surplus funds were added to this reserve. We were listening to the community. Number two, the Vass River. I moved the motion in January 24 to have the Vass River Committee instigated because of public unrest following the cessation of the Vass River Advisory Group the year before. We heard earlier today that the committee supports discussion in a more relaxed atmosphere and is a two-way information process with concerned community members and staff expertise. A further motion on the Vass River I initiated was to install warning signs and write to ministers to highlight the cyanobacterial effects on human health emanating from the river. I've also been the councillor on the Vass Task Force, and I believe Minister Punch will be making an announcement on Friday. It is the first time the Minister has been in attendance in my time, so watch this space. This has been a long, slow process, but I have persisted with strong negotiations and we are getting closer to some good outcomes, noting the river is a state, not a city asset. My relationship with the new chair is also an enduring one. Further to that, because of my lobbying and research into state-of-the-art solutions in water treatment, Council also approved a microbubble trial, which should have approvals and commence work in the next few months. With the old adage, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Council voted for me to attend the Australian Local Government Conference in July. Whilst the conference was interesting, the lack of parliamentary sitting discounted all local governments from lobbying MPs. Instead, we visited Canberra Airport because of my time and my connections there. This was beneficial to the knowledge we gleaned. And on my return, I submitted a fairly lengthy submission, which the other elected members and the CEO did not, which would aid in the airport moving along. I also have 5 years at Canberra Airport and a diploma of aviation. Councillors, I have friends and associates on all sides of politics, having cultivated them over many years, along with a wide variety of industries, and I'm not afraid to pick up the phone for a chat. I have submitted a number of motions that I'm really, really proud of. I've done an AICD director's course, and in the words of Mark Spitz, the swimmer, past performance speaks of a tremendous amount about one's ability and likelihood for success. With my time collectively on council, I have now completed nearly 10 years. The CEO talked today of a history and background, and I equate that to grey hair, which I know I don't have any, but I do have experience, knowledge, leadership, and would appreciate your vote to continue in my role as a statesman on behalf of the City of Busselton. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. Mr Mayor and councillors, we're now required to vote for the Deputy Mayor by secret ballot. You will be provided with a ballot paper which lists each of the candidates in order of their nomination. I'll ask the governance staff to assist with the conduct of the ballot. As there are only 2 candidates, you're asked to place 1 next to your preferred candidate. You may place a 2 next to your next preferred candidate. We will then count the first preference votes for each candidate, and the candidate who has the greater number of first preference votes will be elected.
Thank you, Jess. It's like a magic trick. Thank you.
There are 9 ballot papers. I declare Councillor Kate Cox duly elected to the position of Deputy Mayor. Could I now ask Councillor Cox to come forward and sign the due declaration with the Mayor, please?
You'll need to read that out and then sign it, so if you want to fill it in first. Or should we fill this in first?
You
just
to read it. No,
So
read
just-
it first and then sign it.
Oh, she could put her name and tell her address in.
Yeah.
That's all. So, okay.
I, Kate Cox of 378 Geograph Bay Road, Quindala, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the City of Busselton, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the Code of Conduct adopted by the City of Busselton under Section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995. Thank you.
just doing this. Let me just do a handshake. You can hold that.
Thank you.
Cool. Well done.
Mr Mayor and councillors, in accordance with Part 8.1 of the Standing Orders, each member is to be allocated a position at the council table by a ballot conducted by the CEO after considering requests for specific allocation for special circumstance. I have received one request from a councillor, which has been previously agreed with the council, and that is for Councillor McNish to sit in the seat where he has because of some special circumstances. I now ask councillors to advise if there are any other special circumstances that they want me to take to account before we conduct the ballot.
Mr CEO, I'd like to request that the CEO considers or places the Deputy Mayor in seat 1, as has been in the past, to allow for ease of access should I need to leave the chair.
Are there any other special circumstances that the council members wish to take to account?
I'm happy to move that if it's a decision of the council. I'll so move.
So I'll second that. Is there any opposition? Being no opposition, that motion passes. I do have another request, if I may.
Thank you.
That if, in the unlikely event that, particularly if the situation were that 3 new councillors were to end up sat next to each other, I feel that it would be a valid point to have them sat next to a existing or experienced councillor. Therefore, maybe there would be a way that should the circumstance end up being the way it is, that they would be able to swap positions so that they are sitting next to a councillor with experience.
Could I ask for comments from councillors in the first instance before I do anything?
Would a process be that the ball is just withdrawn to see who the next person is, rather than how else are we going to determine who sits where?
The process I'll determine. I just need to know whether that is an acceptable proposal from the council, in which case I would then ask for a formal motion to achieve that.
If you're looking for comment, my comment is that I would not support that. I think we're a boutique and small enough arrangement with the induction that we're having as well, that these councillors will take to their role and will abide by the standing orders as is.
Any other comment?
I would disagree. When I was first elected to council, I found it very beneficial to sit next to an experienced elected member, particularly with regard to standing orders and meeting procedure. So I would disagree with Councillor McNish's comment.
May I make a comment? Likewise, when I first got on council, it's quite daunting, and if you were next to another councillor seeking sort of some, and it's not just in the council meetings itself, it's even when we're just having briefs, etc., just to be able to have that person to talk to and ask a question. I found it of great value, and it was an experience and a learning curve that really helped.
Then I would ask if someone wants to move that motion be put, because moved and formally considered by the council, because I'm not prepared to make that determination under 8.1. I think that's a decision of the council.
So do I have a...
You can move that.
Yeah. Do I have a mover for that consideration? Moved Councillor Dykstra. Is there a seconder? Seconded Councillor Cox. Do I have opposition? There being opposition. Councillor Dykstra, do you just speak to your motion? Please stand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I found it for all the new councillors quite helpful to be next to an existing councillor that can lead us through the process. it's a big learning curve, and it will be well appreciated.
Thank you, Councillor Dyson. Councillor Cox, do you wish to, Deputy Mayor Cox, do you wish to speak?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would just echo what Councillor Dykstra just said, that I found it very useful as a newly elected member to be seated next to someone with experience. Thank you.
Sure. Opposition? Councillor McNeish.
I speak against because, as I've alluded to just now, I think that this is a small enough chamber. We're familiar with each other, and we've had a great induction, and that continues to go on. Elected members are always welcome at any time to ask questions and are encouraged to do so. And here's the important bit, through the chair. So it's not asking a question of the person sitting next to you. In fact, in the recording of meetings, all communications are to be recorded. And if you want those recordings to be recorded, well then fine, make them nice and loud so we can all probably hear. But I would like to see the rules adhered to strictly, and that the communications occur through the chair. I think that's only appropriate, and that should be the way we follow standing orders strictly. Thank you.
Speaker 4. Councillor Kennedy.
I'll speak for Councillor McNish. That's well and good, but there are some instances where you just need, I mean, just then it was just a quick little, you'll need to listen to the debate and you'll need to rebut because you'll be asked that your right of reply at the end. So, you know, whether that deems to raise a point of order for a question, I don't think so. I think just sometimes you need that quick little reference to an experienced elected member. Thank you.
Speaker 4. I will speak for and to reiterate, and the fact is, it's, as I said, sitting at council meetings only a very short time in which we take these seats, and I think having an experienced councillor next to you throughout the rest of the time, we've spent all day in here since probably 9 o'clock. It's good to have that someone just to have in their ear just to ask those quick questions. It doesn't have to come through the chair, and I'm sure when it comes to actual council meetings, then yes, it would always be through the chair. This is for help and advice during that, and as Deputy Mayor Cox just said, you know, this is all a learning curve. It's all about respect. It's working together. It's teamwork, and I think that makes it a more relaxed and inviting place to be, rather than being slightly stressed out because you're not quite sure. And maybe some of the councillors forget, but I remember it was a year or two before you get up to speed. So I would definitely ask councillors to vote for this. Thank you. Speaker against?
I'd just like to ask, when is the standing orders not the standing orders? I think we have them for a reason, and it just seems to be that we make it up on the run. I think, as Councillor McNish stated, that, you know, we're all we've been in this room now for all day learning things, and it's been a comprehensive time with the CEO. We certainly didn't get that 2 years ago or 4 years ago, and so I think it's incumbent on councillors to also learn and for themselves, and, you know, ask the question. If you're not sure, simply ask the question. So I'll be voting against this. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker 4. Speaker against? Councillor Dyser, it's your right of reply.
Yep, so thanks to Councillor Ryan and Councillor McNish. They are, well, when they got here, they were very well rehearsed in the job, especially Councillor McNish. For me, it's a proving point right now. If my learned colleague just didn't send to me about rebuttal, I would have sat here with my finger in my ear. So I fully agree that reading is important and recording is important, sorry. But it was quite handy to sit next to Councillor, and he pointed me out, and I think that's important for the future for all new councillors to learn. And I know it's a point of order, but or standing orders, but the standing orders has been changed in the past, and some of the councillors spoke how well it worked for them. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Dyser. Therefore, I now put the motion that not that we have it in front of us, that should, and we'll work out the methodology through the CEO, but should a number of new councillors without experience be sitting next to each other, we'll work a way out of changing their position. Therefore, I put that motion. All those in favour? So 4 is Mayor Cronin, so please keep your hands up. Councillor Mueller, Councillor Adams, Councillor Love, Councillor Cox, Councillor Kennedy and Councillor Dijkstra. Those against, Councillor Anne Ryan and Councillor McNeish. It is carried 7-2. Thank you. Mr CEO.
Thank you. We'll now proceed, Mr Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, or sorry, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, to put the names in a hat, and we'll go in clockwise order. Councillor Ryan, you're in position 1.
Deputy Mayor, should we put the...
Yes. So could I ask Councillor Ryan and Councillor Cox, could you just swap seats for the time being while we go through this process? So that one comes out. Can I suggest that any of you have your seats set to a particular level? You might want to take your seats with you. And if you need help to do that, we have some
Also, if you have a footstool,
people
please
here
take
to
it.
help. Yeah. Take your bat and ball.
Yes. Do you want your chair, Councillor Ryan?
Yeah.
She well does. She's taken a chair.
So, Mr Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, if I can just have your attention for a moment.
Councillors, please.
We have 6 balls that are in here, because the Deputy Mayor will sit in seat 1, Councillor McNeish will be sitting in seat 4. Well done, Councillor Mueller. You don't have to move. Councillor Michaela Love, would you please move to the seat currently occupied by Councillor Adams? Councillor Dijkstra. So,
Councillor Dijkstra is number 5.
number 5.
So far, so good.
Councillor Adams. No. No, we'll just pull the next ball.
Yeah. No,
No.
just wait.
Councillor Ryan, you can
Sit there.
sit there.
Yeah. Councillor Ryan, you're in seat 5. Sorry? No. Councillor Dijkstra was in seat 4, is that correct?
Councillor Kennedy, you need to move one.
Yes.
No, Councillor. So Councillor Dijkstra's there. Then Councillor Ryan.
Councillor Ryan, seat
Then
5.
Councillor Adams.
Councillor Ryan.
And then Councillor Jared Kennedy.
Councillor
move
Kennedy,
one. Yeah.
seat 8.
Now I remember why I gave this game up. So, Mr Mayor, we have now done the ballot draw, the ballot draw in accordance with clause 8.1 as modified by council decision.
Okay, I'll just allow councillors to take their seats and settle down, and then we will continue with the I will now continue. In attendance, I have myself, good start, myself, Mayor Cronin, Deputy Mayor Cox, Councillor Muller, Councillor Love, Councillor McNeish, Councillor Dijkstra, Councillor Ryan, Councillor Adams and Councillor Kennedy. I have no apologies, I have no leave of absence. I would just like to firstly welcome our new Deputy Mayor, Councillor Cox, to the new role. I'd like to also say welcome to my new councillors, Councillor Muller, Adams and Dijkstra. It's great to have you at our first council meeting, and also congratulations on your return, Councillor Love and Councillor Ryan. I look forward to working with you all over the next couple of years and moving forward with the council plan. I have no disclosures of interest. We now move on to a question time for public. In accordance with the City's meeting information session, the decision-making process, council policy, public question time will be allocated 15 minutes, and I will request that there is no preamble to the questions. And tonight we have 5 requests of public question time, and first up we have Robert Collins. If you could please come up and please give us your name and where you're from for the record. Thank you very much. Yep, you can do.
All right.
Thank you.
Can you hear me? Oh, yep, that's loud. Okay, I'm Robert Collins and I'm from 11 Bealey Entrance, West Busselton.
Sorry, Mike, just get the microphone up. Thank you.
Okay,
Cheers. Yep,
is that better?
Thank you. Cheers.
Yep, so I'm Robert Collins and I'm from 11 Bealey Entrance, West Busselton.
Thank you. And your question?
Well, you said no preamble to the question, so
Yep.
basically there was mishandling of my development application on my property for short-term rental. It took 107 days and it was slow walked through the application. I put in a number of complaints and I was just wondering, can I read this or is that too much?
You can, Mr. CEO, do you wish to?
The question I actually have, Mr Collins, is will the council assist me in understanding of why City of Busselton Planning Department refuses the DA and refuses to mediate?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll let the. Sorry, we have sessions called CAS sessions where you are able to come along and talk to council for 5 minutes and present to us. This will be answered, this question, in the format it is, but we would have another CAS session in 2 weeks' time, and you could actually come and address the council and speak to them for 5 minutes then.
Yes.
So in response to the question that I have before me, the DA would only be refused if the proposal does not comply with the planning framework applicable at the time of the determination. The City assumes that this question relates to the refusal of a USTRA application lodged by you. The matter is currently before the State Administrative Tribunal, otherwise known as SAT, and the City is engaged in the mediation through that process.
Yes, understood. No key speak.
Yeah, sorry, that's how it
that's the
works.
answer?
It's just you can come and ask questions of council. So,
Yeah.
but look, I'm sure this response will be spoken to, and if you have any further questions, you can talk with one of the officers.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have Natasha Blafari.
Hello, how are you? Okay, I have 3 questions which I've
Sorry,
sent
just
in.
your name and where you're
Oh,
from
yes,
for the record,
Natasha
sorry.
Blafari from Dunsborough.
Thank you.
Okay, question 1. The Vidler Road Waste Facility in Dunsborough has recorded multiple non-conformances against its waste licence over the past 3 years and is currently listed by DWER as possibly contaminated, investigation required. Has the City commissioned an independent environmental due diligence review to assess the site's ongoing suitability for waste disposal, particularly given its proximity to sensitive groundwater systems and other nearby receptors? And if not, will this form part of the scope of services in the current tender being advertised for the site?
And that's your 3 questions?
Just 1.
Oh, this, okay.
So the response to that is, in order to obtain a licence to operate the Dunsborough Waste Facility, the suitability of the site for long-term waste disposal was determined via the environmental works approval process. This included engagement of independent consultants to design landfill cells in accordance with the best practice environment management guidelines and to meet licence conditions. For clarity, the City has received 4 non-compliance requests from DWER, that's the Department of Waste and Environmental Regulation, over the last 3 years in relation to the Dunsborough Waste Facility. In all of these instances, the licence non-compliance requests were in relation to minor operational shortcomings flagged by DWER during random site inspections. The City has consistently rectified these shortcomings to DWER's satisfaction. The City's understanding is that DWER classify all operational landfill sites under Section 13 of the Contaminated Sites Act as possibly contaminated - investigation required. Accordingly, the Dunsborough Waste Facility was classified as such in 2010.
Thank you. Okay, question 2. With reference to the current classification, possibly contaminated, investigation required, this was issued due to concerns with concentrations of contaminants detected in groundwater at both the western boundary of the site and in downstream off-site locations from sampling completed in 2023. Could the City please confirm what the concentrations of key contaminants were at these locations during the 2023 monitoring period, specifically for arsenic, PFOS, vinyl chloride and 1,4-dichlorobenzene?
Thank you. The GHD that's consulting engineers, were commissioned by the City to undertake a groundwater investigation at and hydraulically down gradient of the Dunsborough Waste Facility. I'll provide you separately with an extract from the GHD's report detailing analytical results that you've requested. In response to the GHD report, DWER during August 2024 advised the City that the Department accepts the conclusion of the report that based on current data, health risks associated with potential exposure to the site-derived contaminants in groundwater by off-site groundwater users are low and manageable for existing and off-site land uses. The full technical reports submitted to DWER under the Contaminated Sites Act framework, including the GHD report, are available to the public by request from DWER, Environmental Regulation Services, by making a Form 2 request for the detailed summary of records.
Thank you. And final question, noting the majority of waste of the City of Busselton region is now diverted to this facility, and given the predicted population growth of the City over the coming years, what long-term waste management strategies does the City have in place to ensure environmentally sustainable and effective waste management for our region into the future?
Thank you. The Council Plan 2024 to 2034 under Objective 8 promote and facilitate environmentally responsible practices, including reducing waste and emission states, develop a strategic waste management plan with consideration for local and regional strategies to reduce waste and reliance on landfill. The other action in design landfill cell 3 at the Dunsborough Waste Facility contributes to landfill airspace for at least a further 20 years or more as future waste cells come online. And the Council, in its induction today, gave consideration to more detailed consideration of the long-term waste strategy for the City of Busselton.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your questions, Ms. Bly. Next, I have Ms. Davies. Sorry, if you can just press the button that says press probably. No, it's all right. It's on now. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Nicole Davies from Dunsborough. Hello, Mr Mayor and councillors. I wanted to know what groundwater monitoring results and licence non-compliance at the Dunsborough Waste Facility were formally provided to council when it adopted the Waste Management Facility and Plant Reserve Policy on the 18th of December 2023, because noting the agenda and the minutes do not reference these issues.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll just take that question on notice for the moment because it's missing off my sheet. Can you like to go to your question 2 while we just check that,
Oh,
please?
I lodged it.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm not arguing you lodged it. I'm just
Okay.
saying it. The response is not on this sheet that I have in front of me. So could you move to question 2, please?
Sure. When and how has the Audit and Risk Committee been formally briefed on the Dunsborough Waste Facility's licence non-compliances and contaminated site classification, and what assurance actions did the committee direct?
The Audit and Risk Committee has not been formally briefed on the Dunsborough Waste Facility's licence non-compliance and contaminated site classification. The licence non-compliance refers to minor operational shortcomings flagged with the City by DEWA during random inspections. The City has consistently rectified those shortcomings to DEWA's satisfaction, and as these are operational matters falling within the scope of the administration's functions, they're not reported to the Audit and Risk Committee.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
I thought you had another question.
Oh, I don't need to ask it. I've got some further
okay.
information.
And I will respond to the answer to the first question as soon as the documentation's put in my hands.
Thank you.
My apology.
Next, we have Mr Sims.
Keith Sims, Busselton. Good evening, councillors, CEO and staff, and welcome to the new councillors as well. Saltwater. Congratulations to the City on the Australian Regional Tourist Convention selecting Busselton and the Saltwater for its October 2026 3-day convention. Question: what is the saltwater income for the City of Busselton for that 3-day convention?
Thank you for the question, Mr Sims. The income for the venue will be approximately $5,000 to $7,000. The final total will depend on the technical requirements, which will be known closer to the event, which, as you say, is October 2026. It's estimated that over $600,000 in broader economic benefit to the region has been forecast from the delegate spend and use of local suppliers by the organiser.
Okay, thank you. Question 2, saltwater. What is the current construction completion date and the opening date of the actual venue? I didn't put that on. And it's not meant to be a trick question. I thought you would know.
I know you're not that sort of person, Mr Sims. I haven't known you long, but I'm impressed by your courtesy. Unfortunately, I can't tell you that right now. All I can tell you is that's consumed a lot of my time in the last week. So I will take that question on notice and we will respond. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Third one is Vass River, and because for some reason, and I would like to know why we're not allowed a preamble in a short way to explain the question.
What is your question then, please?
Okay, so am I allowed a preamble or not?
Just ask the question. If we don't understand it, I'll ask for more information.
Okay. So, Mr Mayor, on 3 separate occasions, including recently on the ABC, you stated that the Vass River is basically a drain. Now, I have the quote, but I'm not allowed a preamble. So, the question is, can you please confirm for the community and this chamber what your current position is with the Vass River and if the city should continue contributing financially to its recovery and health?
Mr Sims, this is a direct question. This is question of council time. You're asking me a direct question, so I won't be answering that.
Why not?
It's your opportunity to question council, not an individual elected member.
But you're the one who said it.
Mr CEO, do you have any comment?
The Mayor is correct, Mr Sims. The question time forum is not for questions posed to individual elected members. It's questions of the council. If you submit your question separately outside of this forum, we will respond on the city and or council position, not of an individual elected member.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr Sims. Next we
Could I
have
just make a comment?
Ms
You said
Broadbent.
that question
Sorry,
time was
thank you.
15 minutes. It just stays up there every week, at 15 minutes minimum, up to 30 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms Broadbent. Thank you.
Kathy Broadbent, Switchback Parade, West Busselton. I too would like to welcome all of the new councillors and wish you all the very best in the coming years. My first question: what specific resources and costs have been incurred by the city to address the 2023 contamination findings by DEWA?
Thank you for the question. I'll take that on notice because that's
Thank
going to
you.
require some considerable research.
Thank you. What is the annual cost difference for the city to transport waste to the Vidler Road facility in Dunsborough compared to the Busselton transfer station?
Again, thank you for the question, but as you understand, we will need to do some research of those costs.
Thank you. Has the council assessed the impact on real estate values between extending the Dunsborough facility and developing a new inland site in proximity to Busselton? And if so, what were the results?
I'm not aware of any information in relation to the first part of the question, but I'll take it on notice and then respond.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That being the end of question time, I now move on to item 8.1.
Question for clarification.
Certainly.
Just regarding the public question time, are public question time questions not put at the council meeting to the local government? And if the Mayor, as the principal spokesperson of the local government, has made a comment that can be represented as the position of the local government, would that not be an entitlement to be answered? Thank you.
My comment, Councillor McNish, was that I would answer the question in relation to the council and the city's position.
Thank you. Oh, and Mr CEO, you now have the response to that question from Nicole Davis. Oh, sorry. Nicole's still here. So.
I'll read the question if
We've got
response,
the answer to that
if you'd
question.
like.
So.
My apologies. Groundwater monitoring results and information in relation to any licence non-compliance were not provided to the council when the waste management facility and plant policy was reviewed in 18th of December 2023. Such matters do not relate to the policy item, with the policy setting out the city's establishment and use of a financial reserve fund to provide for funding of waste management facilities.
Thank you. Item 8.1, that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 8th of October 2025 be confirmed as a true and correct record. Do I have a mover? Moved Deputy Mayor Cox. Seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Is there any opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion. All those in favour? The motion is carried 9-0. I would ask that councillors keep their hands up a little bit longer so that I can see. Thank you, Councillor Adams. Now we move on to adoption by exception resolution en bloc, that the committee recommendations for items 11.2, 11.3 and the officer recommendation for 16.1 be adopted en bloc. Do I have a mover? Moved Councillor Love, seconded Councillor Kennedy. Is there any opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion. All those in favour? Motion is carried 9-0. Items to be dealt with on separate resolution is 11.4. We have the budget amendment BMRA digital advertising assets requiring an absolute majority. Do I have a mover? Moved Councillor Cox, seconded Councillor Love. Is there any opposition? Being no opposition, I put the motion. All those in favour? Motion carried 9-0. Items for debate. Item 11.1. Activities in the thoroughfares and trading in public places local law. This has been pulled by the officers, but the initial officer's recommendation will go first. Do I have a mover? Being no movers, this lapses. I will now move on to the officers, the pulled item, which is now the alternate recommendation that should be in front of you. Just give councillors a short time to review that. Do I have a mover? Moved Councillor Love. Seconder, Councillor Cox. Do I have opposition? There being opposition, Councillor Love, do you wish to speak to the motion?
I would just like to move the motion as written. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. Councillor Love, Councillor Cox.
I'll reserve my right at the moment. Thank you.
Speaker against? Councillor Ryan.
I speak against and would like to foreshadow, and I'll turn it if we can put that on the screen. That the council defer item 11.1 until a council meeting following the report of the state-initiated Community Development and Justice Standing Committee inquiry into the safety, regulation and penalties associated with the use of e-ridables.
Thank you.
And I speak against because...
Oh, sorry. Well, not at this point. It should lapse. She's foreshadowing. Sure. Thank you. Please continue.
Right. I have a number of issues in relation to this local law, but mainly it's the e-ridable ones. And I thank Councillor Kennedy for sending the information on the committee that is an impending report is coming out on the 4th of December. And following the death of the man in Northbridge earlier this year, some councillors across WA who have e-ridables suspended or ceased the use of them. So following the state-initiated Community Development and Justice Standing Committee inquiry into the safety regulations and penalties associated with the use of e-ridables, I note that there was a submission that stuck out for me, and I'll read it. For shared schemes, we recommend establishing a Western Australian Centre of Excellence for consistent guidance and oversight across WA's 137 LGAs, deploying a statewide management platform for policy regulation and data, restricting footpath use in busy pedestrian areas, implementing targeted time of day geofencing in nightlife areas to reduce risk, and convert selected street car parks into designated e-bikes and e-ridable parking zones. The tools do exist. The safety standards are known, and Western Australia has a chance to lead the nation in smart, safe e-mobility regulation and save lives. Noting the Council's plan, we ran through it today, states one of the priorities is community safety, or more specifically, number 4, work with key partners to facilitate community safety. I think it's incumbent on this Council to defer this local law until later in the year or even early next year, which will not hinder anything but will hopefully give some certainty on e-ridables and our commitment to the community that we are listening, especially since Councillor Kennedy's email came through about the committee's findings on the 4th of December. Councillors, you will be lobbied on e-scooters, mark my words. Surely we should be seen to be addressing any matter we can on e-ridables, noting that not only are we dealing with Neuron, but we're also dealing with private e-ridables. And just in closing, the other issues that I have as well that I picked up on are the PFAS and microplastics emanating from synthetic turfs and laneways, and also the matter of laneways which are now becoming more prolific in our new subdivision. So I would urge you to simply defer this motion. There is no rush. We were told today we have another year to do something on this, so I'd appreciate the support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. Speaker 4. Councillor Kennedy.
Yes, thank you. I'll be speaking for because I believe this item has a consultation and lawmaking process of that. And we've initially just identified a few little tweaks, and we're going to send that out to the public for them to comment on, make submissions, and then we're going to receive it. This item has already been referred to now. We postponed it because we were in caretaker mode. And I feel if we are to continue to refer this item till after the parliamentary inquiry is tabled to Parliament in December, and then from that we're going to get some recommendations, but still there will be no resolutions from that. So how long are we going to keep referring this item? So as it sits, I believe it's going to go through a process and we're going to get those relevant submissions. And so I would be recommending that we move this motion forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kennedy. Speaker against.
Could I ask a question, please?
Point of clarification.
I don't recall this item being in caretaker mode. I think it just came to council, didn't it? I don't recall this one being deferred.
Director.
Through the chair, this was the item that I think erring on the side of caution. We did wait until after caretaker mode because it is a law-making process.
Thank you for that confirmation. Speaker against.
Thanks, Chair. I was going to speak for because introducing the stormwater concept was something I took up with the staff yesterday, and I'm glad they pulled it. I was spraying all day, but what I've heard, tough time spring, what I've heard today through Councillor Ryan is not a voting against for, well, we don't like it, or it's no good and not needed, but the thought of having a body of information statewide at our disposal in about 6 weeks' time to have a look at a very important matter of e-ridables on the footpaths. And I hark back to the death of that man who came out from having lunch with his family and was killed. I mean, for waiting for 6 weeks to get a whole statewide body of report considered, information will really help in my determination of where we go with this. And we heard today there's no urgency. So for 6 weeks, I think we wait for the information. I support Councillor Ryan's foreshadowed position. Thank you.
Speaker 4. Look, I will raise just briefly because having listened to the debate, I think we need to be mindful of what the motion is in front of us, and having listened to Mr Kennedy, Councillor Kennedy, it makes sense. But also, if we were to just address safety, I believe that we should also be addressing safety on boats. We should be looking at kangaroos. We should be looking at cyclists and any other area that is causing a risk on the road. So I think that this is slightly deviating from where we want, and I commend Councillor Ryan and Councillor McNeish for their consideration of e-bike safety. But as we heard earlier from the officers, this is a police matter, and we need to be mindful as a council that we do have those 3 Rs, the roads, rates and rubbish, and a couple of other extras, but we have to be mindful of how we could even police such a matter. So at this stage, I wouldn't be recommending any alternates, and as Councillor Kennedy clearly stated, this does need to be put forward, and we can address any of these items later should council wish to do so. So thank you. I would also say please vote for this. Speaker against? Speaker for? Councillor Cox, you have your right of reply. Sorry, you've reserved your right. Apologies.
I'll continue to reserve my right. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you very much. And Councillor Love, your right of reply.
I would just reiterate what the Mayor Cronin had noted, that this, from my understanding of having read the proposed amended local law for activities in thoroughfares and public places and trading local law, this is addressing those particular things, activities in thoroughfares and public places. While I do note that it is a very creative way to address the e-ridables safety problems that persist with the footpaths, I do think it's worth noting what the state comes out with their review of that. I do think it's best to wait until that reviews came in, and potentially, if the staff do not bring a motion through to us, potentially put a notice of motion in addressing that. I just don't necessarily think this is the best local law to address that, and hopefully with state recommendations and then reviewing the e-ridables laws and everything that's going with it, that will actually go then into the Road Traffic Code and Road Traffic Act. So then it will be more of a policing matter, because as noted prior in debate, if we include extra conditions on our local law that we've then got to monitor and govern and order essentially, then it's going to put an even bigger impost on our range of services, which we do know do get quite under stress. And I would hate for us to put in something in our local law and promise stuff to our community and then not actually be able to follow that through. I do share quite a lot of the same concerns as yourself, Councillor Ryan and Councillor McNish, after Northbridge incident. But I just do think it's best placed to wait until we get the information from the state, and then potentially, if the officers don't bring a motion to us or an officer's report to us, bring it up through the available avenue of notice of motion. And so that's why I will be supporting this local law as proposed. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Love. Therefore, I put the motion. All those in favour? Mayor Cronin, Councillor Cox, Councillor Mueller, Councillor Love, Councillor Dyster, Councillor Adams and Councillor Kennedy. Those against, Councillor McNeish and Councillor Ryan. The motion is carried 7-2. Thank you, councillors, for your attendance. I hope you enjoyed your first council meeting. The next ordinary council meeting will be held on Wednesday, the 12th of November 2025, and now declare this meeting closed at 18:42. Thank you, everyone, for their attendance. Was there